Good day, everyone. Let me start with a simple question. Have you ever wondered why, even after so many years in school, many students still struggle with basic reading, writing, and solving a math problem? I mean, we all remember the frustration of exams, right? But imagine struggling even before the exam, just understanding a simple paragraph or solving basic math. That is exactly what the EDCOM 2 reports are highlighting. So today, I will be presenting the key findings, recommendations, and my personal takeaways from the Second Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM 2, covering Year 1, Year 2, and Year 3 reports. And honestly, what I learned here is both alarming and eye-opening. Why is that? Even after spending years in school, some students still struggle with basic skills, reading, writing, or even simple math problem. Think about it. Students attend class every day. They study hard, they do their homework, yet when they face a simple paragraph or a math problem, they can't fully understand it. Why do we keep seeing this gap? Is it the student faults? Are they not trying hard enough? Or could it be something bigger? Could it be the system itself? The classrooms, the curriculum, the way teachers are supported? Maybe all of these things are part of the reason. Maybe it's not about laziness. Maybe it's about the environment they are in and how the whole system is structured. And that is what makes this topic so important. Because if we can understand why students are struggling, then we can start thinking about how to fix it. Today, we are going to dive into the findings of the Second Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM 2, and uncover the truth behind these struggles. By the end of this presentation, you will understand not only what the problems are, but also what can be done to change them. So let's begin. So first, what is EDCOM 2? EDCOM 2 is a national commission in the Philippines that it studies the current state of education and suggests ways to improve it. Their goal is simple: fix what is broken in our education system. But the findings show that the problems are deeper than many of us realize. It is not just about students struggling, it is about how the whole system is set up, or sometimes not set up properly. The first major finding is something many of us already feel. There is a learning crisis. According to the report, many Filipino students cannot read or understand text at their grade level. Imagine being in high school but still struggling to read properly. Not just struggling with literature, but even with simple instructions in science or social studies. It is a serious problem. Another issue is poor foundational skills. Students are moving to higher levels without mastering basic skills like reading, writing, and solving a basic math problem. This creates a domino effect. When the foundation is weak, everything else becomes harder. For example, if a student doesn't fully understand fractions in grade 4, how will they cope with percentages or algebra in high school? Also, teachers are overloaded. Teachers are not just teaching, they are doing paperwork, administrative tasks, and other duties that take away from actual teaching time. So think about it. If a teacher has to grade 100 papers in 1 week while preparing lessons, how much focus can they really give to each student? The system is working against them too. When I read this, I realize that the students are not failing because they are lazy. The system just doesn't support them properly. So here, in year 2, the focus became wider. One major issue is mismatch between education and jobs. Many graduates finish school but still struggle to find jobs. Why? Because what they learned in school doesn't always match what companies need. For example, a lot of students graduate with theoretical knowledge but not practical skills like communication, critical thinking, or digital literacy. Another problem is lack of proper training and support for teachers. Teachers are expected to perform well, but they are not always given enough training or resources. Some teachers in rural areas don't have access to modern teaching tools or professional development. There is also inequality in education. Students in rural or poor areas have fewer resources compared to those in cities. This creates unfair advantages. For example, a student in a city might have a computer and high speed internet to do online research, while a student in a far province might still rely on old textbooks. The gap keeps widening. When I read this, I thought if we want education to be a ladder to success, it can't be a ladder that starts lower for some and higher for others. By year 3, EDCOM 2 highlighted system level problems. One is a poor coordination between agencies. Different parts of the education system, DepEd, CHED, and TESDA, they don't always work smoothly together. Policies may overlap or conflict, and the students often feel the effects. Another issue for this is budget and efficiency. Money is being spent, but not always in the right places. Some programs get too much funding, while basic needs like classrooms, resources, or teacher training are underfunded. And finally, technology gaps. Some schools still lack access to proper digital tools. After the pandemic, we realized how important technology is in learning. Students without devices or stable internet are at a huge disadvantages. Reading this, I thought, imagine missing out on opportunities just because your school doesn't have enough computers or internet. So, what does EDCOM 2 suggest? First thing first, focus on foundational learning. Before anything else, students must learn how to read, write, and understand basic math problems. Without this, everything else fails. For two, support teachers better. Give them a proper training, reduce unnecessary workload, and improve their working conditions. Teachers are the backbone of the system. Number three is align education with industry needs. Schools should teach skills that are actually useful in real jobs, like communication, critical thinking, and digital skills. For number four, improve coordination between agencies. DepEd, CHED, and TESDA must work together effectively to avoid confusion and overlapping programs. For number five, invest in technology and resources. Every student deserves access to proper learning tools, whether online or offline. And lastly, ensure equal opportunities. Students should not be disadvantaged just because of where they live or their socio-economic status. These recommendations are simple, but implementing them is not. It requires everyone, like government, teachers, schools, even students, to commit to change. After reading all three reports, I realized something. The problem is not just the students, it is the system. We often blame students for low performance, but we don't always look at the environment they are in. If a student doesn't learn how to read early on, how can we expect them to succeed later? Another takeaway is that teachers are the backbone of education. If we don't support teachers, the whole system suffers. And also, education is not just about finishing school, it is about being prepared for real life. Right now, there is a gap between what we learn and what we actually need. And that is something that really needs to change. And lastly, I learned that change is possible, but it requires effort from everyone: government, schools, teachers, students, and even us. We all have a role in improving education. So, to end this presentation, I want to leave you with this thought. Education is not just about passing exams, it is about building a future. If we fix education, we fix opportunities. If we fix opportunities, we improve lives. Thank you, and I hope this presentation helped you better understand the current state of our education system.